ceremony that you are about to witness is the changing of the guard.
It's hard to explain.
Forward! March!
And the changing of the guard at Arlington was the icing on the cake.
Guard.
It was very moving. And I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Present! On!
There's my truck that was parked right here.
Me and how I felt, how much anger I feel still, I want to see him die. I want to see him put that needle in his arm, and I want to see him take his last breath.
I would hold his hand when if they give him the lethal injection. I brought him into this world, and I would see him out. He knows he did wrong, and he just wants to get this done and over with.
Is he going to fight the death penalty?
What if you live on the second floor of your apartment? Maybe you even live on the third floor. What do you do then? Basically, you've got one of two options. Either you have to go down to the clubhouse or you need to find a neighbor downstairs. Well, in this part of the country, most people know just how dangerous tornadoes can be, and if they're home, they'll usually let you in.
My heart rate went up pretty quick.
Daniel Nugier was walking to his car after dark last month to get his wife a pizza when he says he heard something near the tree line beside his house.
I got out here, put my hand on my car, and I heard the leaves rustling like something was coming toward me. And I looked, and not 20 feet from me, I look over and I see about a 120-pound cat with its ears pinned back.
Go over here, Rose.
Jeff and Debbie House rescue horses.
And these two little Arabians came from Hot Springs.
They say they're for renewable energy, just not a wind farm next to their backyard.
From exposed insulation to crooked, unstable stairs to duct tape on the windows, all prompting the city of Lowell to take action. Condemnation notices have been given to all these units.
But he cut his extension cord in half, stripped where it was exposed wire, and he plugged it in, and he would just I just fill in the blanks on that one.
I found Maurice Torres living in Jonesboro. I confirmed his identity through a birth certificate and additional records. He says he lived with his biological father, Mauricio Torres, until his mother divorced him when he was 6 years old. Now 19, Maurice Torres only goes by his last name, Torres.
The lunch crowd is his audience, the food court, his orchestra hall.
Guns, cars, cash, and computers. These are just some of the assets our police took from accused criminals.
The police department really needs to reflect what the community looks like.
He came home from school. He was at a football game. He came home with a fever.
That's where it all started for Inga Brothers on a seemingly normal weekend in October of last year. Her 15-year-old son, Ross, wasn't feeling well that Sunday. When she couldn't wake him up from a nap, paramedics rushed him to the hospital.
By that time, I was on my knees, begging to God, begging, to anybody who would listen.
Now, the National Weather Service says they expect this storm will be gaining strength.
New tornado warning issued by the National Weather Service.
Through the National Weather Service just now coming in.
Hear us talk about them all the time. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in more than 120 forecasting offices around the country. These men and women watch weather around the clock.
We can look at our meteorological models here.
The National Weather Service is the federal agency responsible for collecting weather data, making weather forecasts.
This is the National Weather Service office in Tulsa.
And issuing weather warnings across the country. And it's a big deal.
We might see something coming. We see that there's going to be severe storms or winter weather coming, and we want to make sure people hear that and know that so they can take the proper actions to protect themselves and protect their property. So we definitely feel the weight of that on our shoulders, getting that message out.
The forecasting office responsible for our area is actually in Tulsa. About 40 people work here, 25 meteorologists and 15 hydrologists. Now, meteorologists keep their eyes to the sky, while hydrologists take over once the weather hits the ground.
Flooding and flash flooding produce a high amount of unfortunate fatalities. And so we're able to produce warnings to hopefully the people will heed those warnings and not be affected by the floodwaters.
And just like any job, some days are more stressful than others.
This is the National Weather Service's operational area. Sunny and 70s, it's pretty quiet around here, but don't let that fool you. They're always looking for the first sign of a storm.
See the movement.
Days before severe weather could be moving into the area, they're already watching the radar, gathering data, tweaking the forecast, and making sure the meteorologists in our area are aware of what's coming. In fact, even though they're miles away, we're always connected, especially during severe weather. While computers are great about keeping us connected and helpful when we need information, when it comes right down to it, nothing beats knowing the ins and outs of the area and that all-important human touch.
Being a meteorologist and a forecaster is kind of an art. It is a mix between the science of the computer models and all the raw data and then your own gut feelings and your own interpretation.
Many of the Mets in the Tulsa office have been there for more than 20 years, day in and day out, around the clock, to help us help keep you safe.
Something's got to be done. You can only keep going forward.
Tommy Hawkins rents a mobile home at 406 McClure Avenue. He first shows us his neighbor's unit.
That's all the wood that they actually had it fall down.
Hawkins says a family with 4 kids just moved out of this rental. They had lived here in another unit until this happened.
Starting to cave in, it caved in.
Hawkins says his trailer is even worse.
I got holes in the ceiling. I got windows that leak. I got a toilet that runs. I told her about black mold, so she just goes in, cuts the black mold out in the ceiling and leaves holes there.
Hawkins says his landlord refuses to fix any of this.
There's duct tape on that one and that one because when it rains, water will go into it.
From exposed insulation to crooked, unstable stairs to duct tape on the windows, all prompting the city of Lowell to take action. Condemnation notices have been given to all these units.
There's holes in the floor, ceilings, leaky roofs, broken windows, windows that don't open and close. There's insect infestations, lighting that's wiring's exposed.
Lowell's building official Matt Bailey says a landlord has 30 days to fix the issues.
No matter what your income level is, you should get a safe, clean place to live and sleep at night.
If the landlord does not fix the issues within 30 days, the renters will be forced to move out within 3 days after that.
Ultimately, they're the ones stuck with the consequences.
We did attempt to talk to M&M Mobile Home Parks registered agent Nanette Nordsell Mika. Renters tell me they deal with her directly. Mika's sister Linda Nordsell Jones reached out to us saying she is the co-owner and is speaking on behalf of her family. She says many of these renters are behind on rent and gave us this statement, quote, "We are working with a local attorney. He is the one who served the notices to vacate the property. The mobile home residents refused to vacate the property. They also refused entry into the mobile homes. We are working with the building inspector, Matt Bailey, to fix the listed problems as of April 14th. Yuna Lee, 4029 News.